It is 9 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. Speaking of libs being big mad over cheap labor not coming, Brittany Pedersen saying Trump's attacks on illegal immigration are hurting Colorado's ski economy. 60% of ski resorts rely on workers with J-1 visas, and many are now scrambling as they're unable to fill the positions needed. When we shut immigrants out, we hurt our local businesses, our tourism industry, and our economy. Oh, boy. All right, Mr. Thorpe.
Yes.
I grew up in Colorado. You grew up in Colorado.
Yes, sir. Yep, we both did.
What has happened to the ski industry is one of the most heartbreaking tragedies in my entire life of being a Coloradan.
Here's the thing is, I will agree with you, but I'm concerned about whether or not we agree about the same thing, knowing the history of the show.
Well, I think you and I are going to both agree that the corporatization of the ski industry destroyed
God, yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed it.
100%.
Yeah,
right?
because skiing is no longer an affordable hobby inside of Colorado. Not at all.
Freaking A, man.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you can see how passionate I almost got going there. But
oh yeah, and this is a deep seated anger for me, and I want to tell everybody exactly how I was put on a pair of skis when I was 5. I have thousands of hours on the Colorado ski slopes, and I cannot afford to take my family of 6 to go skiing in Colorado anymore. My kids
can't either.
Cannot fall in love with a hobby that is dear to my heart.
Correct.
And it hurts.
Bro, perfect words.
Yeah, thank you.
You masterful, Mr. Thorpe.
Thank you. I have my moments.
Explain the problem I have in my heart over this stuff too.
Yeah.
Like I was a part of the ski school at Winter Park.
Oh, did you? Now, here's the thing: is did you ride the buses?
Were you like
were you Eskimo?
Yeah, Eskimos.
See?
Eskimos.
Yeah, you were.
So I rode the bus.
Here's the crazy part. Okay,
I rode the bus. My parents dropped me off, and
here's the cool part. Now, this is side. We're going to talk about this. Jeff and Bill Show listeners, you guys with us today, understand these weird parallels that Jeff and I have. That we both grow up in Colorado, but they're these weird parallels that keep us together and also separate us. Mm-hmm. During that era in Colorado, there were 2 major companies that were operating, getting kids up to the ski slopes and getting them lessons, then bringing them back home on the weekend. Every single Saturday and every single Sunday. They were Eskimo Ski Club and Buffalo Ski Club, and they weren't necessarily friends. Jeff was an Eskimo. Nope. I was a Buffalo. This is perfect, my friend. We both did the same thing, but for rival groups.
Dude, those were like rival gangs,
yes,
man.
They
like
were.
You wore your patch.
Yes, and you hated it when you saw the other patch. You'd be like, hey, you suck. Yes. This is why this show works. This is exactly why the show works. Dude, shared experiences that still diverge. It's
in
great.
the 6 o'clock hour, you were about to lose your mind because I was basically trying to get you to explain why slavery is wrong.
Yeah, I know.
And now we're like, come back together. I've always learned in this show that if you just give it time, like if we're really happy and like sharing a fun moment, we'll be at each other's throats later.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if we're at each other's throats, just give it time. We'll get back and we'll be happy.
Yeah, we'll get back. That's why this works.
What I think that's the most heartbreaking thing about being a Coloradan was you grew up, and I don't remember, I'm sure I'm exaggerating this, but I remember, I think I went up Eskimo Ski Club with a $25 check in my pocket. I know they had to pay some other subscription fee, but to get like a lift ticket for the day.
Oh, lift tickets were $17 to $22 when you and I were up there riding. And then your mom and dad could throw a 20 in your pocket, sometimes just a 10, and say, get lunch. Yeah, and that was
exactly
the thing.
Right.
Yeah, the 20 meant you were eating fat. The $10 meant, you just wouldn't splurge. You might not have a side, but you'd still be just fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. And it was such a great experience.
Yes.
And it's one I cannot give to my kids.
I can't either.
And that's because I think the only people that can, like you fall in 2 categories, I've noticed. Either you live dirt cheap, like your entire existence in order to afford those Epic passes.
Yeah.
And then you know, the drives up and the weekend sacrifices and all that stuff. It just becomes like core to your life. So you have to like super devote to skiing. The other option is you're an investment banker in Manhattan.
Yeah, and you come
That's
out here.
it.
Yeah, and you come
Like
out here.
there's
and you do
there's no
vacations.
middle ground anymore.
No.
And they fly into Eagle and they stay at the Ritz-Carlton or whatever, or they movie stars that have property up here in the mountains. I'm in Rifle today, but that's it. Those are the only people that can ski anymore.
Yeah, I think that the industry decided, kind of had a meeting at some point or another, and as a group decided, do you know how much money we are getting from these tourists versus the workaday
Yes.
that comes up the mountain? You know, the tourists will come here and they'll splurge on this and they'll buy this and they'll be going out to eat all the time. But the workaday people that are here week in and week out, the ones that make that drive up I-70 every Saturday and then sit in that traffic coming back home on Sunday, they're not the ones that were buttering the bread, or at least the bread wasn't thick enough. And so they decided to lean into the tourism, and it has been absolutely tragic for the Colorado ski season. I have not been a regular skier or snowboarder since my mid-20s, and the only reason it lasted that long was because I was working with a show that did ski reports and things and had a side TV gig up in the mountains. And so they were seen in Summit County, and they were seen in Eagle County and some other places. And so they would comp me tickets. It's the only way I was able to go. I couldn't afford to even back then. You couldn't do it. So, yeah, it's been a long time, and it hurts. It hurts me. The number of times my kids have been up on the mountain, you can count on one hand, and they don't have the same experience. And that is growing up, a drive away from those mountains, yet families here can't afford it. And it's ridiculous.
Dude, text messages are so hot on this one.
Oh, good.
Jason in Denver. What about the copper choppers?
Yes, I remember you guys.
Dude, the copper choppers, man, you guys were so lowbrow.
Yeah.
Man, we ain't even
We didn't even deal with it all.
recognizing
Yeah.
the chopper.
We're like,
Copper
yeah.
choppers.
God, even your patch was second
Although,
class. I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
2033 is like, Eskimos was real lowbrow, man. We were Summit County living kids. Started skiing at 3.
Dude, those
2033.
Yeah, I got some friends that grew up in Grand County, and one of them went on to be a member of the U.S. Olympic team in cross-country skiing because he cross-country skied to and from school on the regular, starting in 3rd grade. So, yeah, he was really good at it. Yeah, absolutely.
7760, my daughter and family live in Colorado Springs. It's faster, but not closer, and cheaper for them to ski in Taos than it is to ski in Colorado. I've seen videos where people do the math, and it's cheaper right now to have a ski vacation in Europe than it is to have a ski vacation in
I wouldn't
America.
doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it because of where we're doing prices. Yeah, wouldn't doubt it at
Right.
all. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And look, I'm a free market guy. There's questions as to whether or not it's a real free market if you have to rent your land from the federal government and they get to hold the receipts and the permission slips to build a ski resort. Obviously, I don't want every mountain in Colorado to just become a ski resort, but it's heartbreaking. And, can you really blame a corporation for wanting to maximize its profits? That's kind of what it does, but they're all corporate owned now. Is there any ski resorts left that
There are a couple, and I'd have to pull. I think there are a
owned?
couple that are kind of
Yeah.
pseudo. Yeah, I want to say there's a family that's trying to make Berthoud work, and I'm about Wolf Creek. I think Wolf Creek might be, but that's way south, and so that's on the other side. As far as where we're talking, that's South Colorado. So those might be, and there may be one other, but no, a lot of them are. And then I understand the people saying, yeah, we'll just go out there and buy the Epic Pass. Do the math on what that would cost for a family of 6 and realize that's just paying to go skiing. We haven't outfitted anybody, nor have we paid for gas, nor have, so that's, it's not, you either end up spending several $1,000s to go skiing on a single weekend, or you end up spending greater than $10,000 in order to manage it for a season. How is that possibly affordable for the average Colorado family, or even most Colorado families?
7201 saying skiing stupid, Jeff and Bill. I'm sorry you lived such an abused life, 7201. Apparently your parents didn't hug you enough. All right, this is great. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take this moment. I know we're holding up Blake. Blake,
Yeah, we are.
thank you for your patience.
Yes,
But
thanks, Blake.
this is how I've explained skiing to my kids here in Colorado.
Ooh, yeah, I want to hear it. Yeah.
And this is a great text message from 1468 that gets to it. There's 3 different levels of skiing, okay? There is Beaver Creek, Vail, Aspen, right? Like, you're at the top level. Beaver Creek gives you warm cookies on a silver platter when
absolutely.
you get off the ski lift, right? Like, it's amazing experience. It's peak wealth that get to ski at those three. Okay. Then you get, actually there's 4 levels. Then you get what I call the mid-level. Okay, you get Breckenridge, Keystone, great experience. You got a lot of fun. But they're not handing out cookies on silver platters, but it's a great upper level experience. Then you get to, I'm just here to ski. I don't need anything else. I just want to hit the slopes. That's A Basin. That's Loveland. Okay. Then I've run into this because I climbed mountains in the wintertime. Then what I call the true purists. Okay. These are the guys that hitchhike Loveland Pass. And they're amazing. Okay, so you can ski Loveland Pass if you hitchhike in the back of a pickup truck, basically to the top, then you jump out and you just ski down to the bottom of Loveland Pass. And I saw guys trading joints for rides on the back of pickup trucks.
Yeah.
I was like,
that seems like Colorado.
That is pure, like, just dirt skier, man. Just loves being out there. So those are your 4 levels of skiing in Colorado.
Those are the 4 levels of skiing.
We'll continue. 7201 telling me my parents did hug me, but they didn't spend money acting like fools. Look how cold your heart is, 7201.
I know.
All right, let's get to news with comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good morning. Hump day, 47 and partly cloudy in Denver. Gorgeous sunrise this morning and expecting a high of 65 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story: delays and cancellations are starting to pile up across the country again. Flights have been cut since Friday by the FAA. As of last check, over 600 flights have been delayed and over 800 have been canceled today. Check before you head out today.
Now they're like, oh, yeah, well, we burned the house down and we wish it was still burning. I mean, that's essentially what is happening here with the shutdown. It's just crazy.
Congressman Jeff Crank on the show this morning with Jeff and Billy, and the Schumer shutdown could come to an end tonight as the House is to vote on a funding measure. Overnight, the House Rules Committee voted along party lines to advance a government funding deal that's already passed in the Senate. A final vote is set for after 5 o'clock Mountain Time.
They're acting like children and don't seem to care. I walked into the Capitol this morning. I saw a couple of the Capitol police officers, and I said, hey, we're going to get you paid this week. It's going to happen. And, they just smiled and they were excited. But look, I mean, how can you say you care about people and you're doing this for them, but at the same time, you're okay with people like this, who are Capitol police officers or ICE agents, these air traffic controllers and TSA agents who have been working all this time without a paycheck? Come on. This is silly. So let's end it.
And Scott Bessent on Fox News this morning.
Democrats tried to stop President Trump. They couldn't stop him in the courts. They couldn't stop him with the mainstream media. So they shut down the government. And they've taken the mask off. Ezra Klein in the New York Times yesterday actually said this was never about health care. This was about President Trump and his totalitarianism.
The grandson of JFK has plans to run for a congressional seat in New York City next year. Jack Schlossberg is the only son of Caroline Kennedy and will seek to replace the retiring Jerry Nadler in his Manhattan district. The 32-year-old political commentator, writer, and online influencer spoke at the 24 Democratic National Convention. And you know what? He may want to change his name to Kennedy. That's a tough one. Schlossberg. Shanae, Jazzy J, Jasmine Crockett, wasting thousands on luxury amenities outside her district, according to the FEC. $4,000 on the Ritz-Carlton, $2,300 on the luxury collection, whatever that is, $5,300 on the West Hollywood edition, and that's just to name a few as they expose her on Fox News Channel this morning after she complained about not having enough money for security.
And for a woman who is openly flirting with trying to run for Texas Senate seat against Senator either John Cornyn or whoever comes out of that primary, you are seeing a woman who's not spending an awful lot of time in Texas. That whole list of places she's been living high on the hog, I didn't see anything mentioning Dallas or Houston
Not been in
or
Amarillo.
Laredo or Amarillo.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing in Amarillo. Imagine that. NOAA has issued a severe geomagnetic storm alert as it reports that at least 21 states could see the aurora borealis this week, including here in Colorado. The light show has been reported as far south as Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and even some parts of North Florida. I'm sure Jeff will be out trying to check it out this evening, as Billy did last night. And the Ducks in town last night against the Avalanche.
Will circle, get away from that loose stick. A broken stick from Malinsky. Nichushkin goes stall, can't get to that one. It's Gabriel Landeskog.
And Gabe Landeskog, his first regular season goal since March of 2022 after multiple knee surgeries. The good guys win it 4-1, the final. And the Nuggets in California, Northern California last night against the Kings in Sacramento.
They're giving Murray a rest here. Jokic is back in. Cam Johnson turns the corner under to Yoke, and Yoke puts it in.
Yoke had, that's what we're calling him now, 122, 108. He had 35, 15, and 7. Murray with 23 points, 8 assists, 3 boards, and the Clippers they play host to the Nuggets tonight. Denver is 8-2. The Broncos back on the practice field today as they prepare for their big game coming up against the Chiefs this weekend. 44 in Centennial and 45 in Lakewood, 47 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue.
Talent is a pursued interest. In other words, anything that you're willing to practice, you can do.
Yes, that was Bob Ross. And Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Unseasonably warm November weather will take us through Friday. Then we're going to see some changing weather this weekend, especially late in the weekend and into early next week. But until then, mild Pacific air will dominate. We're going to be 60s to near or better than 70 today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Still very mild, well into the 60s Friday. Through Friday, dry, a mix of high clouds and sun. Nights not bad, 30s to lower 40s. Increasingly cloudy and trending cooler over the weekend, increasing chances for showers. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're talking a tweet from Brittany Pedersen. She's big mad, as the libs are, that they don't get their cheap labor here in America anymore. Trump's attacks on legal immigration are hurting Colorado's economy. 60% of ski resorts rely on workers with J-1 visas, and many are now scrambling as they're unable to fill the positions needed. Well, just hire Coloradans. I don't know. Aren't there a bunch of kids out there that love to have these jobs? When we shut immigrants out, we hurt our local businesses, our tourism industry, and our economy. But I don't like the way the industry is right now.
Yeah, in what way?
I mean, one, it's highly corporatized. And to the caller's point about the U.S. Chamber loving cheap labor, yeah, they do. And look, Republicans were all for this prior to Trump. And I think the economy's suffering in certain ways. So look where we are in Colorado right now with our ski industry. You've got mega corporations that own lots of them, not all of them, but lots of them. They've come to recognize that out-of-towners will pay a fortune in order to have a ski vacation here. So they're going to make that their core customer. Families in Colorado that want to raise their kids to ski have to pay a lot. I think Jason in Denver texted that he taught his kids to ski, but it cost a fortune to do so.
Yeah, and I want to add this in, too, talking to Blake off air, he had to run. But I didn't know this. Blake grew up in Steamboat. He's a ski kid. And he said before he left, he's like, it kills him that he can't afford to take his kids skiing and let them experience the same thing that he did growing up. He said, think about that, being a Coloradan who grows up in the nest of some of the best skiing on the planet, and he can't share that with his kids.
Steamboat is amazing. So, and then they rely on J-1 visas and foreign workers, and they house them and all that stuff. And maybe I'm like going back to my like Warren. Who's that ski? Who does the ski videos?
Warren Burns, isn't it?
Warren Burns?
No, Warren. Warren Burns was the guy that did the restaurant show here locally.
I used to go to the release of these.
Yeah, me too, because you'd see him all the time. Yeah,
right. But like skiing was like super localized. Like the kids in the community worked.
Warren Miller, because I'm an idiot. Warren Miller. Thank you, Google Box. Damn it.
But I mean, it felt like skiing was like the local kids worked. And it was a great experience for Coloradans, and we all got to go up, and you rode in rink-a-dink little chairlifts and all that. Now everything's like high-speed this, high-speed that. It's super corporatized. They rely on, apparently 60% of their employees aren't even from Colorado. They're foreign-born. So you have people that these corporations have to fly in to be a part of it. I just think the whole experience sucks now. I don't know. What do you think?
Ugh.
Thank you for the 15 people that text us, Warren Miller.
Thank you so much. You guys rock. You guys rock. Yeah, it's the corporatization of it has taken out some of the enjoyment, some of what you have the ability to do. And part of it also is there is a problem with housing up there is. Now, my dad was at a point in his life, early 20s, he was a ski bum. Now, he did have a job, but he lived and worked in Georgetown specifically so that he could ski as often as possible. And it was affordable. That was your
pops, huh? What did he do in Georgetown? Do you remember?
He worked with, it was an engineering and mining company at the time is what he was working with. And so which is why I have this love of geology. So part of what he was doing is he was out there, they were doing surveys and looking for specific veins and where there may be particular metals that they were looking for. And so that's what he was out doing, some of the surveys and things like that. And it was great. But again, it was also affordable, where he could pay his bills and still have enough scratch left over to get up the mountain and pay for the tickets.
I haven't watched Warren Miller films in probably a decade, but if you remember him, man, like it was just for the love of the sport and like all the quirkiness that comes with skiing. Now, what is a Warren Miller film going to be now? Chad, the finance bro from Manhattan, takes a $15,000 vacation to Aspen with his family. Just bums me out.
Yeah, it does.
And Brittany Pedersen screaming about we can't have more immigrants coming in to service this corporatized crap fest.
Yeah, and I was reading
that
they get about 8,000 of those visa workers per season. And a part of it is, again, where do you live? If anybody's been up through Grand County, and they don't want it in Fraser, they don't want it in Winter Park. And again, Fraser and Winter Park are going to become one town soon, very soon. Much to the chagrin of Winter Park. They don't want that. Fraser wants it in a second, but Winter Park doesn't want that at all. You continue down the road, and you will see some of the small housing that has been built. And it looks like a combination of small shacks or dorm room housing. They're not large apartment complexes. They're individuals, but these things aren't much bigger than what you'd think as far as a studio apartment. And that's where they're housing the workers for a lot of the ski resorts. And they even have bus systems that'll go back and forth over the course of the day to make sure they can get to work, because a lot of these people show up and don't have transportation.
One text message that's really good that we should read, because while we're all complaining, sixth graders do get to ski for free for the season. So you should take advantage of that. But if you have 4 kids like we do, You
Yeah.
got 1/6 of the price off. So
that's the problem.
It's still difficult.
And you used to have things like Never Evers, which was if it was your opening couple of times going, the resort would have a deal on a discounted lift ticket and discounted lesson and a discount in rental equipment because they understood that if you learn to ski there, that's where you're most likely going to continue to ski because you feel comfortable there. So if I can get you on a Winter Park slope, you're probably going to stay on a Winter Park slope and not go to Breckenridge.
Are the ski workers on visas illegal or immigrants on visas? One text message 3377 says, definitely a difference. My daughter graduated from college during the Obama administration, couldn't find a job, so she worked in the ski industry and lived in Winter Park with about 8 other young folks. That was said to be the most highly educated workforce in the ski industry at the time. Thanks, Obama. I think it's a combination of both. I think they rely on, especially if it's a corporation that's going to employ him, probably relying on legal visa holders. But the people cleaning the toilets in the hotels, probably not legal visa holders. I'm just saying it's probably a mix. Let's go to the phone lines. Bill, who do we got?
We've got RJ in Parker joining us. Good morning, RJ.
Good morning, gentlemen.
RJ. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Hey, I just wanted to, I love skiing. I love Colorado, but Vail Resorts, I've got 3 children. Little things that they do. They're kind of like one of these greyhounds of the airlines, where they win the internet war and hit you with fees, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You can book a room, and then you can spend, hey, here's $200, $300 a night. And then when you go to, basically hit the bottom line saying, I'm going to pay for it, there's all these daily resort fee charges of up to $100, $135. And then they do little things like, okay, you can't check into your room until 4, and then checkouts at 10 a.m. in the morning. When you have 3 kids, that extra hour can kind of mean everything if you want to have like a cup of coffee or something,
Oh, yeah.
So, they used to give cookies. The 4 o'clock check-in, you can't even get up there and ski that night you're paying because they shut the mountain down at 3:30 the last year. So it's one of these problems I've always had with Vail Resorts, where you're paying for the room that day, and you can't check in until 4, and then they want you out at 10 the next day, and then they hit you with these fees because they're winning the internet war.
Yeah, it's basically a place to just lie down and sleep.
Yeah.
I feel the frustration. I think a lot of people do, especially if you grew up in Colorado. I mean, if you're kind of a transplant, you don't really know what it was like to ski for $25 and enjoy a day out with your buddies and get a cheeseburger for $2, $3 up there. That's just completely changed. Someone texted in 15,000 will barely get you a ski trip to Aspen these days.
That's just scary.
No, that doesn't even get you probably dinner reservations at where they really want to go.
Jeez. Thanks, RJ. And I love the idea of a nickel and dime here,
goes, I mean, look, I'm a free market capitalist. There's part of me, Bill, that just goes, all right, they own the land, they own the hotels, they can charge whatever they want. They've decided to go down that way, and I can sit here and complain all I want. But I think that part of it too is it really a true free market if the opportunities to expand the skiing is so limited to whoever can work through a government permit, basically. So
yeah, and the other part is
the equation. All right, we'll continue.
Yeah, and the other part of it is that it hurts me that that it's difficult that it seems as if the ski resorts are okay cutting out the locals and then turn around and go, hey, how come y'all aren't coming here to work? Hang on. Hey, I'm good enough. I'm good enough to change the sheets and I'm good enough to serve the food, but I'm not good enough to get up on the slopes and absolutely ride the chairlift. So yeah, when it feels like in many ways Coloradans are treated as second-class citizens by our resorts because of that.
Fair point. All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Brittany Pedersen, big mad that she doesn't get her cheap labor up at the corporate ski resorts, saying 60% of ski resorts rely on workers with J-1 visas. The entire collapse of the quality of the experience makes me mad because you basically have to be a finance bro in Manhattan to ski in Colorado anymore. Let's go to the phone lines. Terry. Good morning, Terry. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Great.
Go ahead. So I want to talk about a couple different things. Number one, you're absolutely right. I remember during COVID having this very discussion sitting in Vail Resorts, talking about the fact that they were advertising for people coming here on the visas at $11 an hour. When they couldn't get them, they had to pay the locals $20 an hour. And my point is, number one, that's a living wage. At least at $20 an hour, people can live. When the people come there on visas, I know that the food banks and the medical industry sees an exorbitant amount of cost because the people that work for Vail and Associates can't afford medical care and they can't afford food at $11 an hour. And for somebody like Vail, they should be ashamed of what they do to their employees. That's number one. Number two, I remember going to Zermatt in Switzerland with my daughter 2 years ago. And we were mountain biking the area. And I asked them what a day pass cost to ski Zermatt. It was $80 a day. Vail is $300. We stayed in a hotel that was basically a townhome right above the gondola. It was really very, very nice. In Vail, it probably would have been $1,500 a night. I paid $300 a night there. And the other thing that just kills me is Vail does give a good discount. Epic is a good discount on the pass, but to charge $50 a day parking, it just is ridiculous. And as you said, I used to go to the ski areas. I don't know if you guys remember the Eskimo ski train, but I used to ski on the Eskimo ski train and go up, and I learned to ski at Winter Park. And now you go up to the ski areas, and honestly, you very seldom see children at the area like you used to. I remember going into the old lodge, and it would be all kids and a few parents. Now it's a few kids and all parents.
Terry, that is very insightful.
That is,
That's
Terry. Thanks for the call, man. And I want to share this with you. Ski train story of me. Formidable years, rolling up there, middle school time. There was a kid who was a couple years older than my friends and I, and he was kind of being a bully to everybody in that area, the ski train. That's when a couple of high schoolers felt that they had had enough, and so they grabbed him and they hung him up by his ski pants on one of the hangers, and he's about 4 feet off the ground getting a giant wedgie. Very few times have I enjoyed karma as much as that. Very few times. That was great.
Well, live in studio with us is Peter Boyles. Good morning, Pete. Thanks for joining us.
Morning.
Morning, you guys. Plus, real quick, talk about Jeff Hildebrand and his service yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
God, that was...
Oh, man.
That was powerful. So
that was.
I think the best element are the grandchildren.
Oh, they were great.
Doesn't that give you a window into who the person really is?
Oh,
yeah.
It was just kind, and it's the first time I met his wife, and it was wonderful. We all sat together, and so that was good stuff for radio. To skiing, what happened, at least in my world, the money guys came in, just much like radio, and I don't know how many times Winter Park has been transferred, I think twice, Vail and Associates. These guys own multiple ski areas now. It isn't like when I first went to Winter Park after I gained my sobriety, and it was owned by the city of Denver. And I went and I read about it, and it was built as a park, a winter park for the children of Denver. And it's all changed now. It's taken the golf course. It's the idea on a golf course is how much you can get for the property surrounding the tees and greens, not so much for the golf course itself. To the caller who called about Europe, in Europe, most of the ski areas are owned by the state. They are owned by the country itself. And so they maintain, and it's wonderful. I've talked to so many friends who have skied in Europe. Same thing, I think, in Canada when you go to Blackcomb or Whistler or any of those. But those are owned now by the money markets as well. So that's what you're paying for. I mean, Billy's right. Jeff, you're right. What are you going to do when you want to put a kid in Buffaloes or Eskimos? It's gone. you can't afford it. How much is a pass? And I listened to that guy say, I haven't skied in Vail for a while. I've skied in Aspen. It's an arm and a leg.
It's $300 a day.
Yeah,
right
sure.
now.
And wait till you get when you get to the holidays, it goes up. You know,
surge
exactly
pricing.
right.
That's great.
Christmas in Aspen.
I guess for me, look, I'm a free market guy, so there's part of me that goes, look, you make as much as you want. That's
I'm
your
with you.
choice. I don't like when states own things because I think quality goes down, and then you get lots of other.
That's not true in Europe,
involved.
Jeff. That's not true in Europe.
Yeah, and I would want to know how much is actually owned by the state because, for instance,
Quite a
like
bit.
the mountain is owned by the federal government, but then are the hotels or the lifts or the dining rooms or the food, all that stuff. Is it all owned by the state? I don't know.
That's the golf course where
right.
it's the land, or like if you bought a ski in and ski out in Vail, what do you think that's going to run you? What a ski in, ski out in Aspen? That's going to be astronomical.
Yeah.
So, but even the areas like Winter Park that were once really owned by the city, they were publicly owned.
And
so
I
guess
did a little bit of research right now. Epic Pass, because it goes up. Price goes up on the 16th. So if you want to drop it right now, the full Epic Pass will run you $1,121. And wait for it. That does let you ski on peak dates. Now, if you want to save a little bit of money, you can get the Epic Local Pass for $833, but then you can't go skiing on the peak dates.
You can't go. You can't go on Christmas Eve.
No.
You can't go on Christmas Day.
Yeah, part of me would go, well, then just open it up because it seems like the restricted amount of ski resorts is what's driving up the cost. But we can get to that. Pete, you got a show Saturday. Tell us what you got going on Saturday.
About talk. I've dubbed the show Talk About Talk. And I got calls out to a lot of people. I'm going to ask you two guys to come on. I think you'll be amazed who's going to show up on the radio show on Saturday. But there's so much flux and so much turmoil right now in talk radio, and we all know about it. Mm-hmm. And I want to know what people think about talk radio in the market today, as well as the national shows. Look at there's a feud now between Levine and Tucker Carlson. I don't know if you followed that.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are going at each other.
Yeah.
And we lost Charlie Kirk, which I thought was this great tragedy. He's much like, we talked about the loss of Allen. It's a crazy, and of course Limbaugh passed away. What's talk radio going to do now? Where is it headed, and what's going to happen? So talking about talk, and you guys are welcome to come on. I'd love to hear your voice.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Sounds
That's
like
nice.
a great show. Always good. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays, right here, 710 KNUS. Are you going to go ski, Pete? Are you still a skier?
Yeah. I didn't ski last year. I had some health issues. It's the first year I missed. This year, as soon as we get I have a great ski partner, Gary DeFrange, who ran Winter Park, and I'm going to be a Monday, Tuesday skier. Get that perfect.
Best days.
Those
are the best.
And so, I'm good to go. I'm going to give her a lick. I'm going to wait till there's a little more snow. Right now, it's the ribbon of death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you hear that, with your skis right now.
But I love what you guys were talking about. I didn't grow up here, and I didn't ski as a kid. I didn't ski until after I gained my sobriety. So I was 42 years old first time I put on skis. So, yeah.
What was that like?
I think the late Jerry Groswald, who had done a radio remote up there, and when we were done, Jerry said, "Oh, you're going to ski?" No, I'm not. And he gave me, he loaned me all the equipment, pants, jackets, and everything, and he got me this great instructor. And her area of expertise, she was German, was children.
Hey, all right.
And
you found you the right instructor.
And Peter Boyle is 42.
We skied, and I haven't stopped since, and I've been banged up a couple of times, but there's nothing quite like that. That bluebird morning. You got powder last night. If you catch it on a Monday or Tuesday, and in the inside they call it first tracks. you're the guy.
Yep.
You're the guy cutting it. And
Pete, I had a pass, and my record was 21 straight days of skiing.
Ooh, that is
That was
beautiful.
in college. That was nice. All right, we'll get to Mark from Fraser next. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. We're talking skiing in Colorado. As Brittany Pedersen not happy that they can't use cheap foreign labor anymore. 60% of ski resorts rely on workers with J1 visas. Should they just be hiring local? What has happened to skiing in Colorado? Let's go to Mark in Fraser. Good morning, Mark. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, guys. Great show. Long-time listener.
Oh, thank you.
I listen to you over the internet because I live up here in Grand County.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I know. I live a privileged life. Somebody's got to do it, Bill, so I volunteered.
That was nice of you.
Yeah, I know. It was hard to do, but I did it. I'm a bike and ski coach in the competition center at Winter Park. And I get a lot of questions from both locals. When I say locals, I mean both Front Range and Grand County up here. And the first bit of advice I give young families is don't buy passes at the big resorts. Start at a place like Granby Ranch. It's lower cost. It's easier to get in and out of. The parking's free. The cost is less, and you're just teaching your kids how to ski. Then once they learn the basics, move to a larger resort. So that's a little bit of an affordability tip that's there. I mean, Grand County is very unique. We have the ski train. The number of times it's coming up and down the hill now is increasing. They are planning on increasing that even more. But this is more of a second home location for folks in Denver. So us as a family, we were part of the competition center for 15, 20 years, and now I coach there. But we see a lot of families that come up and they live a more conservative life in the Front Range. So they won't buy the bigger house and the new cars and all that stuff because they'll use their income to buy a small place up here, whether it's a condo or a townhome or something like that. And then they can come up on Thursday nights, avoid the traffic, stay up all weekend, have their kids on the hill. And a lot of the kids I coach, they and their parents want them to be better skiers. And when they hand them off to me first thing in the morning, mom and dad go have a ski date all day. So you have to think through it. I agree with everything everybody said. And now I know why I don't see Peter that often anymore, because he wasn't there last year and he's skiing during the day. But
Pete says hi, though. He's here behind the scenes, and he says hi, Mark.
Hey, Pete, miss hearing you every day, but Jeff and Bill do a great job. So if you guys got questions, let me know. Bill, you know how to get a hold of me.
Hey, Mark, I appreciate that, man. That was awesome.
Dude, we have
Thank
the
you so
best
much.
listeners.
We do. Dude, that's amazing.
We throw something out there, people are like, I work in the industry.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the pro tip. We love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You've been listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
We are KNUS. See you tomorrow.